Ah, what a lovely day to ride. What a view.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be doing a video on the Yamaha R1, and the name of this video is how to ride a leader bike for the first time, or how to ride a high-powered sports bike for the first time. And you see these little raindrops, so we better get going. We're racing the rain, as you can see this gorgeous view, but the skies do look intimidating. So we're going to get started. I'm going to talk to you about how to ride a leader bike. If you've never ridden one before, do not be intimidated by the leader bike. Maybe the storm, but not the leader bike. Let's get started. As you know, on the right hand side, on most Japanese bikes, everything's braking. This is the front brake, this is the rear brake. We're going to walk around over here. On Japanese bikes, again, the left side is shifting. This is the clutch lever, and you're going to shift with this lever here. Now, the shift lever, imagine it's like a ladder. You know how you start off on the first rung of the ladder, and then you go up and down the ladder? You're always going to be kicking upward and downward on the ladder on the shift lever. You kick up, you go to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You kick down, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One thing you want to know is in between first and second is neutral on this bike. So a slight tap up from first will put you in neutral. Notice on the right here, we're in neutral. We're going to be doing street riding, curvy riding, like in the Twisties, and I'm going to see if I can throw in some freeway riding, which is a lot faster, and that's always fun. So let's go through this, but first let me talk to you about something. You know, a lot of guys start off on a 250, then they'll move up to a 500 or a CBR 600 or a R6, and then you move up to like maybe a ZX10 or like this bike, excuse me, like a R1. These leader bikes, they're a lot different than, you know, your bikes that you start off with, okay? So my advice is the first gear, and then on the top end, when you're really hitting towards the top end, let's put the kickstand up, that's when you need to really be more cautious when you start off. The first gear starting out, where you can flip the bike over you don't have to give it as much power. And then of course the top end, because it has a much higher top end, you could really get on the, you know, into trouble going through the twisties and things. Another thing too is, you know, I want to give you a realistic bird's eye view of how riding a motorcycle is. So let's get going. And how to ride a leader bike. We're riding the Yamaha R1. I forgot to show you something. This bike, it's the Doctor themed bike. See how it says the Doctor, and then over here notice it's number 46. I'm not going to get into it right now, but if you do some research on who the Doctor is and number 46, this guy was a crazy motorcycle rider. I mean, he was an awesome professional motorcycle racer, and he's like just very brave, very bold, and he helped the name Yamaha a lot, so we feel honored to be riding the Dr. Sport Bike. Okay, this is the kill switch right here, this little red switch. If you need to stop power, you click that. This is the starter. This is the throttle. We have our little sock here protecting the fluid in here. This is the steering damper, so I don't get the wiggle in the handlebars. This is our handy dandy R1 key tag, keychain. Here's the where the key goes in. You got the tachometer here. You have the speedometer here, brights here. This is nothing but a handle here. Turn signals, the horn right there, and clutch lever. You get the idea. So let's first show you how to start off. So on a leader bike, on a sport bike, remember, very cautious in first gear. After a while, don't worry about it, you'll get this. But I want to tell you something too. There's a stigma, like with leader bikes, like, oh my gosh, you know, be careful, you get on a leader bike. And it's really exaggerated, okay? This whole stigma of the leader bikes being very dangerous and everything. It's very, very exaggerated. Obviously, you don't want to start off on one of these type of bikes, but, you know, it's exaggerated, like how dangerous it is. It's not, like, a matter of fact, I feel safer on a leader bike on the freeway than on a 250 or like a 500 or 600, you know? So when you get it, here we go, starting off in gear, clutch in, kick down. You really want to be cautious starting off in gear. You're not just going to release the clutch. These bikes have a lot of power, not to be melodramatic, but a lot more power than the bikes you start off with. So watch this. You slowly let the clutch out while giving it throttle. That's how you do it. You don't want to clutch in, kick up, second gear. You don't want to go ahead and be, you know, popping the clutch and crashing the motorcycle. So we're going to turn around here, and now we're going to get into the twisties. Beautiful day. Hope that sun comes back out. Here we go. So we're in second. Another thing is the brakes are awesome. Hold on, clutch in, kick up third. So when you're braking, you're doing it, you know the drill, we've taught on this before, like you're squeezing an orange, okay? Like you're squeezing an orange. You're not going to dramatically put the brakes on. You can flip the bike. The brakes on these high performance motorcycles are very, very good. So we're in third gear. We're going to clutch in, kick down to second, slowly release the clutch lever. Got a little bit of rain coming down here, but we're okay. Clutch in, kick down to neutral. Remember, from second to neutral, I can do that. So now we're going to go. We're going to let these dudes get some distance so I can, no one's behind me, so I can get some speed. And now we're going to go in the twisties, and watch how we take off in first gear. Clutch in. You slowly let the clutch lever out. And remember how I told you, like, the danger of leader bikes is really exaggerated? It is. Once you're in second, you know, and then third, and then fourth, it's pretty much a cakewalk. Got the rain coming down now. But you'll notice this, the power is awesome. You don't have to really wind it out into the red line over here. Just a little bit of sprinkles. It's not showering on us, so we'll keep going. Now, where you can get yourself into trouble is when you're going through these twisties, making sure there's no water on the lens. When you're going through these twisties, it's easy to crash because you can really pick up speed fast. I mean, dramatically. You can't believe how fast you can pick up speed, and so it catches you. You get caught sometime, like, whoa, I'm going too fast, you know, as you're going around these corners and stuff. Not really a good time to be going through the twisties here while it's raining, because the oil's starting to come up from the ground here. But this dude's riding, so you notice there's really no dark clouds right in front of us, so maybe this is just a temporary thing. So it says slippery when wet here. What you do on these leader bikes too, I want to talk to you about countersteering. Look at the sign. Countersteering is where you apply pressure to the handlebar. If I'm going to go right here, I'm going to pull back here towards me on the left like this, and it will lean the motorcycle to the right, okay? That's what countersteering is. Now, I'm going to pull towards me on the right here. Watch, towards me. I'm trying to see if I can show you. Now, you ever see these videos? I don't mean to laugh, but you see them on YouTube. If you go to Moto Madness, you'll see what I'm talking about. M-O-T-O, and then the word madness. Do a search. And that channel collects accidents and, you know, all types of things on video of motorcycle riders having accidents. And you'll see a guy like this. Watch, I'm not going to crash, of course, but see how I'm going to go to the right? You have to kind of counter steer here. If you're going at a fast clip, you can't just lean it. So if you're going too fast, you have to apply pressure to the motorcycle's handlebars. You don't just lean it, or you're going to not be able to take the corner. You're going to crash. So you see these guys, and it happens on leader bikes too, because they move up to a leader bike. There's another guy here on a motorcycle. Everyone has the same idea. That guy was on a Ninja 250 or 300. Excellent bike for the Twisties. But you'll see the guy going around the corner like this, and he just goes like head on into the truck, and you're like, what the heck? What happened? What happened is he doesn't know how to counter steer. You must absolutely know how to counter steer. I know it's an unfortunate name, counter steer, because you're not steering a motorcycle. It's more like counter pressure. You're applying pressure to the right or to the left handlebar, or pulling towards you from the right or to the left. Now we're going to show that to you here. Let some traffic go by here. So remember, we're neutral. I just tapped up to neutral. See that? I'm trying to let the traffic go so we have more room where we're not going to get in front of cars or where they're slowing us up behind cars. So remember, you're going to slowly let the clutch out. I can't emphasize that enough with the leader bike. Watch, clutch in. I'm going to keep my camera right here so you can see this. Watch how slowly I let this out. After a while, you don't have to do that, you know, as you get to know the bike, you know, but when you first get it, I'm telling you, please, for God's sakes, that first gear and even second gear, not a lot of throttle, unless you're into wheelies and you're a professional. But I want to tell you something about moving up to a leader bike. But first, counter steer here. We're going to push forward here and back towards me on the left, and that leans it. These corners, you definitely need counter steering. You can't just lean the bike. So let's see if I can find one up here. Okay, see this one right here at the very end? This is definitely a sharp counter steering corner. We're going to pull back towards us here on the right, towards our body. We're going to push forward here, just a slight pressure. So watch the yellow line right here. See how we're doing that? So leader bikes, you're not just going moping along, you know, real slow, you know, up and down streets. You're going to be going through twisties. You're going to be on the freeway. You're going to be going on long stretches of highway. You must absolutely learn counter steering, okay? It is a must. Now, what I was going to say is, if you are a beginner type rider to, let's say, almost average, don't get a leader bike. However, if you've ridden 600s, even 250 or 300s, and you would say you're like a average rider to advanced rider, then you could handle a leader bike as long as you know the counter steering and you're very, hold on, this is the one right here. This is a very sharp counter steer here, right? 35 miles per hour. We're going to pull towards us here on the right, push forward on the left. Watch. You have to, see how I'm pushing it right into it right here on the left. You have to learn that. And you don't want to learn it on a road like this, of course. So what do? Here's what you do. Go like on the freeway or the highway where no one's at, you know, on a deserted, desolate area, and pull your handlebar back and forward. See how I'm doing that like that, and get, you know, used to that. You can counter steer without a corner. Just make sure you have a lot of room around. But this is where you can get trouble with the leader bike, is these corners, like in the twinkling of an eye, you're accelerating 10, 20 miles per hour faster. Just like the twinkling of an eye, it happens, you know. Now, let's go back so I can get you some freeway riding, okay? So we're going to go back. We're going to pick up this pace now, a little more advanced pace. And we're not going that way anyway, so sorry, train. You didn't catch me this time. I was just turning around. Now, as you can see, this bike does not do U-turns well. A really wide corner. Okay, so if you're like, remember, if you're a average rider to advanced on a 250 or 600 liter bike, you'll do just fine. Just remember first gear, and you know, be very cautious on first gear. We're probably gonna just hit freeways because I can see we're having some rain coming in. I keep hearing rain hitting, going on the top of my helmet. So we're going to do this a little bit more advanced now. So once you get into it, and you kind of know, it's a little bit dry here, so we're okay, and you kind of know your counter steering, then it's fun. One of the things I love about leader bikes is you're never wanting more and more power. It has enough on tap. Other bikes, we'll talk about the R6. This area here, excellent for the R6. They say that the R1, if you go to the Yamaha forums, they say the R1 is a good street bike. Like for what we're doing now, like basic, you know, being on the street. This guy's like on a Harley type bike. Another guy. Everyone racing the rain trying to get back. But they say the R6 is great for like roads like this and the twisties and the track, if you're into racing on the track. But it said the R1 is more of a real world bike for the freeways, you know, like I have to go to Los Angeles like all the time. And hold on, we got some rain coming down here. Just little sprinkles. And I love that as I'm driving like long distances, I love that this bike's very, very comfortable. Let me put it neutral. Right here, this road right here, look at this. Ugh. Not very good. First gear, very cautious. Second gear, a little more cautious. The other gears, you can't really get yourself in trouble with those other gears. Now when you start going on the freeway, and that, by the way, you can see the ground getting darker as the rain's starting to come down more. As you start getting on the freeway, which we're going to do now, then you'll realize why you like the leader bikes. It's like a car with a motorcycle body. You just have awesome power. It feels much safer on the freeway. Of course, right now I'd like to be under cover instead of all this rain coming down on me. Okay, so glad I turned back. We have to get on the freeway. Especially when it's wet like right now. Easy on the gears, really with any motorcycle. Easy on the gears, you're going to spin that tire. Alright, let's get on a bit. Also, we have the Santa Ana winds in California. Very strong winds. Those are coming in right now, too. Look at this.
Well, this will make for good video. Look at this guy also. Get home, buddy! Oh, he's saying slow down, so there could be a cop up here or something whenever they do that, or an accident. Okay? So you see him going like that. Let's see if there's something up here. Or maybe it's real slippery up here, so the motorcycle riders tend to watch out for each other. He's going like this. That means like slow down or something. One time I was going around a corner. Aha, look. No? I thought there was something here. And this motorcycle guy was tapping his helmet over and over, which means there's a police officer around the corner like a hazard. And sure enough, when I took the corner, there was, and whoa, it got real freezing right here. Wonder why he's telling me to slow down over here. We'll take his advice, see what happens. Look, I'm like looking around like every corner. Well, if you've never been on the freeway in the rain, this will be your first time. Looks like it's a little bit more sunny out here as we come out of the mountains. Look at that view right there. Isn't that awesome? You can see the rain coming down. Woo! Very cold. I have the GoPro in a waterproof housing. It's not really dunk proof like if I went swimming with it or out to the beach in the ocean, but it's like a waterproof housing. Okay, so we're coming up to the freeway. I'm actually glad I was able to get some rain here to kind of show you that if you ever do get caught in the rain, it's doable. It's cold. I was debating whether I should wear two jackets. I usually put one jacket on top of the other. But I'm like, nah, it's kind of hot out. And of course, it caught me. Now, if someone goes out in front of you, unless you have anti-lock brakes, like if this guy went out in front of me here, I've just tried to go around him while slowing down. Again, with the braking, you really don't want to lock it up. I know they're making more motorcycles year after year. I'm making this video in 2017, so they're already having excuse me, they're already having motorcycles with anti-lock brakes. Alright, so we're downshifting, slowly squeezing the brake. Remember, like an orange downshifting. These guys are riding bicycles. Okay. Look at all the water on the motorcycle. So we're going to be getting on the freeway now. Freeway, even though it's raining, water tends just to go over you as you're like a bullet with air going over you. So it's like you don't get much rain on the freeway. Even if it's raining, it tends to not be too bad, unless it's really pouring. Now, this is where you're going to love the leader bike. This is why people get leader bikes for freezing, for freeway riding. Look at 162 Fahrenheit for the Yamaha. That's pretty cold. Usually in California with the heat, I'm up there at 190s. Sometimes a fan will kick on. So, here we go. Now, some guys, I want to tell you something as we get on the on-ramp. Some guys will get the sprocket and change it on this bike to where when you get on the freeway, it doesn't even wind out on the tack. And that's what I did. Some other type of riders, as you can tell, I'm going real slow here because the oil's coming up to the ground. Some other type of riders, now we're going to pick up speed. They will get the sprocket to where you could really do wheelies, or you're very fast off the top end. I actually like it. All right, here comes the sun. I actually like it excuse me, where the tack really doesn't wind out. So let me get in this lane. I want to show you something. Look at the speed. Okay, watch. Let's get it at 65. I'm only at 4,000 RPMs. Isn't that awesome? So at 65, am I in 6th? Yes. I just noticed the tack drop down because I put the clutch in. So watch the tack. I'm pulling the clutch in. So at about 65 miles per hour, you're only at 4 grand. It's awesome. But check this out. I want to show you something else. Let's say, because California, I get in the carpool lane. Let's say I want to get over here, right? Check it out. It's just effortless. Even in 6th gear. This is what you get a leader bike for. Just, if you have to go somewhere like a long distance, this is the motorcycle for you. One time I went to a party, a bunch of friends were having a party, and it was over at Palm Springs. I went from LA to Palm Springs on a leader bike. As long as the weather's good, like right now it just stopped raining, thank God. As long as the weather's good. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to put some more motorcycle videos here if you want to see me riding a Ninja 250 and other motorcycles doing reviews. Click right below here, right below the video, and I'll put some of the videos there. Just remember, 1st gear on a leader bike, pulling the clutch out real fast and pulling the throttle back, no bueno. And remember, in the twisties, be very safe. Don't be giving a lot of throttle going through the twisties, because you could crash right there too. 1st gear is really the main issue. Once you're on the freeway, oh, look at, here comes the sun. Once you're on the freeway, no problemo. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna keep riding to dry out this GoPro. Oh, I want to show you something also. I have this visor, this helmet, I don't know if you can see it, with a drop down visor. See it right here? This visor on my helmet goes up and down, like I can adjust it right here with a switch. It's awesome. To block the sun and stuff when need be. Ah, what a lovely day to ride. What a view.